and welcome back to the channel. Food. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe and flag videos like this.
What are they doing? Oh, that's trippy. What the?
They literally reprogrammed us. I believe that they shrunk our pineal glands, which is our spiritual antenna. They took away a lot of our incredible gifts that we were born with back then. Telepathy, telekinesis, higher levels of empathy, higher levels of intuition, all those things, the ability to communicate, like you say, like a hive mind. We had to have a hive mind to hunt. You can't, hey, run around the backside. The mammoth is gonna hear you. It was all done psychically. And then they disconnected our DNA. Now we have junk DNA, which is not junk. And scientists are finally starting to admit that that DNA had function and still has some kind of function in the body. They just can't identify specifically what it is. They've disconnected us from our own coding, our own connections in the body. And that's given us this perception of ourselves as if we're this advanced culture, when I believe that our ancestors were way more advanced than us spiritually.
A terrifying explosion of violence just as an early morning Delta flight was leaving Houston Hobby. A passenger suddenly attacking another passenger as flight attendants climbed over the seats to pull him off.
And then he stumbled and fell in my seat next to me, and I was so scared, so I just put my feet up and my hands up because I was getting ready to kick for my dear life.
Fellow passengers jumped in to help.
Oh my God. He stumbled to the back and just started punching everybody, and before that he was trying to go to the cockpit.
The pilot quickly declared an emergency, returning to Houston.
We do have police here. We're going to wait until they come on board.
Houston police took the suspect into custody on a mental health hold.
This is my first time having a breach of the cockpit event.
Sources say he never actually got to the cockpit, but did attack flight attendants and passengers.
Creepy real photos that keep me up at night, part 7-9. This photo was sent to me by a viewer. They said, years ago, my daughters were playing in the bathroom. I was laying in my bed and I snapped this photo. I posted it to my Instagram stories and my sister replied, "Who is that old woman in the photo?" I zoomed in and saw her. She is definitely not my daughter. We live in a 135-year-old house, so we have crazy things happen all the time, but this was the first time we caught it on camera. Follow for more creepy real photos.
We have alligators in the sewer again. Listen.
Plato referred to Saturn as Helios, the sun god. Satanism is Saturnism. Satanists worship the goat. The god himself is a symbol of Saturn because this planet is enthroned in Capricorn, whose emblem is a goat. And you see them on Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Baroness Philippine de Rothschild. This is called the magic square of Saturn, 666. This is the sigil of Saturn, the most obvious symbol of Freemasonry. Balmoral, the Scottish home of the royal family, the sigil of Saturn. This is an ancient symbol of Saturn. They then took it and put it on their fiefdom of Israel, the symbol of the Soviet Union, the symbol of Saturn, the hammer and the sickle. This is a permanent hexagon in the North Pole of Saturn. He's also the six-pointed star, and he's also the cube. The Kaaba is a symbol of Saturn. The black cube that Jewish people put on their third eye as part of their ritual is Saturn. So all these symbols are all representations of the frequency of Saturn. That's the matrix that's playing us.
This study completely exposed how the elites plan on killing you. Right now, there is no blue light being directed at the mouse's brain. And this is what happens when the blue light turns on. The blue light stimulates a part of the mouse's brain that makes it extremely aggressive and puts it into a killing frenzy. This is why the elites changed all of the lights in the Western world from this warm red tone to this blue atrocity. All this does is increase the crime rate, increase the chronic disease, and it keeps the working class fighting amongst each other while the elites get away with everything.
In a ritual where a person is being programmed to put in a Kabbalah template, they may take the person, tie them down, and pull their arm out of their shoulder socket, dislocate it, torture them in that state, and then put the bone back in. No drugs, no any painkillers, nothing. You're torturing the person, you are tearing their body apart, you're putting it back in. They may, for the heart, do something that causes the person to die. They actually kill them in the ritual. The heart stops. Then they use magic, demons, and maybe some actual pads, put it on a chest, bring the person back to life, and then continue the torture and the ritual. When they're doing yesod, the part that maps to the sex organs, for lack of better words, the kind of sexual tortures that they will do to a person or a child or a baby, 3 months old, are so graphic, I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but they are opening gates through torture and evil and bloodshed and the most heinous crimes against humanity in the process of installing this template into people for its power and its ability to have all kinds of mind control applications anchored into it and other things. In the world of sorcery, Kabbalah is at the top when it comes to powerful templates with which to work.
These are stories from victims that you've personally talked to.
100%.
This man met a woman not a cup and followed her home, but look what he was able to capture in his dash camera before the video finishes abruptly. It was a good thing he didn't make it back to her house.
왜 마을 좀 안녕하세요 기분이야? 我把我赶到这里太危险了，真的假的？你看到视频了？啊。走走走。喂。Nih, mau dong nih. Drop lu ke parkiran nih.
I know I'm not tripping. I know damn well that's not a red fucking random ass red bloom next to a sewer. Hell no.
My nigga, did you not see that forehead poking out? Was you not looking, bro? Use your eyes. Go back. Go back. Look at your own video. Even though I know it's staged, but still.
He's a villain, not a monster.
This man encountered a pastor who he claimed was a reptilian and shot him with 6 rounds. But what's crazy is that the pastor escaped from this relatively unharmed, returned to work only 2 weeks later, and was soon after elected to a prominent governmental position, even when he was shot 5 times in the torso and once in the head with hollow point rounds. Kyle Odom was a bright young college student who was even selected for a prestigious PhD program. According to his manifesto, he was harassed by a group of people who was allegedly able to give him spontaneous erections, play music in his mind, as well as harass him psychically. They seemed to always know where he was at all times and followed him everywhere. One day, he was summoned by them to go to a church where he met with a group of pastors who emitted a discomforting odor, which he described was a combination of both vinegar and reptile, at which point he knew he wasn't dealing with humans, but something extraterrestrial. He looked at the pastor and, for a split second, was able to see his true form. Here is his own sketch of what he saw. He described their eyes as huge and bulging. The eyelids were darker green, and the irises were yellowish brown with slit pupil. Odom continued to state that these Martians are millions of years ahead of us in terms of technology, can make objects appear out of thin air, and blend in with the population by using human bodies and learning to mimic human behavior perfectly. He states that they have large farms of these humans, which they use as meat suits. Odom asserts that these beings, who hide behind the church, have infiltrated every level of society and essentially rule the world. He also stated that because these Martians were so overconfident, they revealed to him a lot about them and their story. They told him that humans are a result of some genetic experiment and that other reptilians live on Mars, as well as inside the moon and Earth. What's interesting is that he states how these beings hide in churches, as that's the last place most people would expect. He also describes them as hyper-aggressive, hypersexual, and extremely fearful and paranoid. This is interesting because other whistleblowers such as Max Spears and Donald Marshall also described reptilian beings with these exact same characteristics. Researchers like Gary Wayne also describe how some seraphim and Nephilim likely had serpentine features and possessed psychic abilities, just like the beings in Odom's story. Interestingly, Odom in his manifesto provides a long list of prominent politicians who he claims are reptilians hiding in disguise. What's interesting is that he calls out Nancy Pelosi as one of these reptilians. I found this interesting considering that many years after this story, Pelosi was on air in an interview where she refers to herself and other politicians as, quote, cold-blooded and reptilian, which is an interesting choice of words to say the least. So what do you think? Was Kyle Odom onto something, or was he just having a schizophrenic breakdown?
Meta wants to add facial recognition to their smart glasses so anybody can literally just look at you on the street and instantly know who you are. Dude, this is obviously insane. According to this new report from the New York Times, Meta is building a new feature that's called name tag for their Ray-Ban smart glasses. This new feature would allow anybody wearing the glasses to look at you and their AI assistant would instantly identify you. And here's what might make this a little bit worse, because an internal Meta memo was just leaked and it says this, I'm literally gonna quote this: "We will launch during a dynamic political environment where many civil society groups that we would expect to attack us would have their resources focused on other concerns." Okay. And this isn't just theoretical, because Harvard students already proved that you can connect Ray-Ban Meta glasses to facial recognition software and identify random strangers in public. And by the way, Meta sold over 7 million Ray-Ban glasses just Whoa. And by the way, Meta sold over 7 million of these glasses just last year alone. The ACLU is coming out and they're saying themselves that facial recognition is a dire threat. Yeah.
There is a new trend now where people are cutting the inside of their ears and leaving gaping holes. I really don't know the purpose of it. I understand people want to express themselves a certain way, but it does seem a little excessive in my opinion. I mean, part of the reason why you have that is so you can hear. So that part is called like the conch or something like that. I read about it. It's the inside piece, but what's the purpose? I mean, is it just expression? Some people were joking and saying that, oh, well, now they can hear behind them better. Or you can stick your finger through and like grab someone. I don't know. I would be worried that someone would just grab my ear and like rip it open. But have you ever seen this before?
A lot of people on your platform have died. A lot of people on your platform is no longer with us. You took a lot of losses when it comes to your platform I'm talking about, right? It's like everybody that interview with you, come on your platform, they're dead directly after the interview. Why?
You talking about why?
I just want to know.
I don't know. I don't know why. I think why is dumb question.
No, it ain't dumb question. Like, people come on my platform all the time, they don't die after. They go on no jump, you talk about them, they don't die after.
You asking me why?
Yeah, why? Is it something, are you keeping up enough commotion, enough friction to where people die once they hear them on your platform because you're so big and you know what you're doing, to where people come speak, now they gotta die because your platform's so big? Is DJU platform killing all the artists in Chicago? Right.
Yeah. That's up, man.
Right. I mean, you know.
Also real,
you known for single-handedly getting the whole world snorting Percocets.
No, I'm not known for that.
See, no one was doing that before they started on DJU. No one ever saw that. I never saw it before. You are responsible for that. You are the main reason why a lot of people are doing it now.
Eighth Ocean, you're saying they're keeping this closed off from the public for what reason?
Listen, there were things down there we just weren't prepared to encounter. Look, we were sent down into a canal which sonars couldn't detect a bottom on, right? It takes us hours to get through it, and when we finally did, we emerged into what felt like a pocket ocean. Words couldn't explain the anatomy of the creatures we were seeing outside the window, right? But we truly realized the alien nature of this place when this elongated, almost translucent-like figure, right? No joke, literally swims through the wall of the submarine. Don't ask me how, but we're just staring at it, right? As it completely passes through and just goes out the other side, right? I mean, these things weren't even abiding by our known laws of physics.
I mean, I remember saying with the crew, like, if outer space was a place on Earth, this was it, you know?
And away we go. So Prince Andrews has been arrested in relation to the Epstein files. Welcome to the show. And when I say show, it's literally all for show, because how is it that he gets arrested on his 66th birthday when 6 police cars show up to arrest him? Not to mention, he was born in 1960, and 60 years ago, England wins the World Cup in the year, you guessed it, 1966. Now, he's already bailed out of jail, so what does this mean? It means it's all Masonic theater, it's all a show, but it's also a distraction. But from what, you ask? Well, for starters, maybe the fact that Obama confirms that aliens are real on some podcast that I've never seen or heard from before in my life. Then a reporter asked Trump about Obama's alien statement, which he actually accidentally confirms.
Aliens are real. Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake.
Now, here's what's really weird about this whole alien situation. Right after Obama made that statement, this happened where several people reported a fireball streaking across the sky outside of Las Vegas. Also in that interview, Obama said he doesn't think aliens are being held at Area 51, in which that's exactly where it's located, right outside Las Vegas. And if that's the case, where nothing is in Area 51, then why is there massive security all around Area 51? They're just guarding nothing? And remember when I showed you guys this not too long ago, where the Bank of England was warned of a potential financial collapse due to alien disclosure? Now, this warning comes from the former Bank of England analyst Helen McCall, who says if the White House officially confirms the existence of aliens, the global economy could face catastrophic disruption. How would you come to that random conclusion unless you had some type of insider information to their plans? I don't know, you guys, it seems like they're drip feeding us information on purpose, setting us up for Project Bluebeam, which is a fake alien invasion. Or at the very least, giving us alien disclosure, breaking the system, wiping out some debt, and distracting us from the Epstein files. Make sure you guys hit up my bio for my guide for a societal collapse, and also let me know what you guys think down below.
Did my cat just talk to me?
Well, where are you? Did you just say I'm right here? Stop, you're scaring me. Stop.
What the f***? They're trying to kill me. I didn't see a TikTok about this.
Welcome to Rockefeller Center. Show them all the demonic pagan shit. This is Illuminati shit right here. No, look, there's symbols above the doors. Pagan. So this is one symbol, right? Look at that door. Babylon. This whole entire plaza, Rockefeller Center, all these symbols are like Babylonian pagan type shit.
That is so weird, bro.
Every one of the buildings that they own.
What's that hand symbol?
Well, we all know what the compass is.
What is the compass?
This is as demonic as it gets, bro. This Illuminati right here. They're about to sacrifice all of us Epstein list, all right here, bro. You have Bill Clinton in a wedding dress, Jeffrey Epstein's client list, and this artwork has something to do with it. That looks normal to you, bro? Sugar, tobacco, all the shit that they control. Look at the symbol at the top. That's the crown. What's the crown? That symbol, the lion and the horse, is on every freaking product you can think of, especially tobacco. So I guess all of these industries are the ones that they control and they own. The illuminated ones.
Beck is crazy, yeah. You're not telling us anything we don't know.
I'm crazy? Maybe you guys are crazy because you sit there complacent. Maybe you're crazy because you don't have the courage to stand out against what's going on in the world. Maybe you're crazy because you don't tell the truth to the masses and put your life and your reputation on the line. Maybe you're crazy because you're not going to get rounded up by the Moes in the middle of the night. We're fighting against the Dajjal here, bro. Dajjal system.
It's looking right at me. Oh my god. Where did it? No.
I'm so scared. Watch this. Twitch, don't ban. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure it's fake. Look! It's a fake person. It's a wax person. It's a wax person with pee noises playing. And this whole time, I was like, what the f? It's a wax lady, mother. Wax lady!
I think it moved a little.
This video is very disturbing. It's a man just seemingly showing off his collection of dolls, but there's something more sinister to it. Allegedly, all these dolls are made out of human skin. That's right. Like, Silence of the Lambs type stuff. What's even creepier is that we don't know where this video came from, but apparently it is from the dark web.
只有6千万，如果飞不完干啥呢？你准备拿回家，反正我是没准备要，拿过来就要飞光。再拿200万，好不好？拿200万，我给我的员工发钱，有错吗？没错，好吧？你说有错吧？没错吧？200万我马上抬上来。
I believe that God actually exists, except the God that exists that created this universe and the multiverse, not in the Quran, not in the Torah, not in the Talmud, not in the Bible, not in the Sumerian tablets, not in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, not in the Mahabharata, not in the Bhagavad Gita, not in the Indian Vedas, not in the Epic of Atrahasis, not in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Not one of them is speaking about the creator of the universe, which is real. I acknowledge that. Matter of fact, so did the Anunnaki. They claimed to know that they were going to get in trouble for what they did on this planet by the creator of all, which tells you that they knew they weren't the creator of all, that there was somebody even above them, an entity, an energy, a life force of something above them that had a say-so, and they would have to find judgment one day. So they knew they weren't God, even though they masqueraded as God. They became the gods of the Torah and the Talmud and the Bible and the Quran and all these texts. The Elohim, which means plural, gods with an S.
My DoorDash driver sent this photo of my food being delivered. However, my excitement over my chalupa was crumpled by the fact that I cannot explain the strange figure in the door window.
Scientists just got the FDA approval to test a treatment that would literally reverse aging in humans, and the first patients are being enrolled right now. This is obviously insane. This company called Life Biosciences just got the green light from the FDA to test the first ever cellular rejuvenation therapy on actual humans. And if you're like me, you obviously don't know what that means. They figured out how to use 3 specific genes to essentially factory reset your cells back to a younger state. This is not to slow down aging, it's not to treat symptoms, it's actually to reverse the aging process at a cellular level. Dude, this already worked in animals. They took old mice that had lost their vision and they restored it to levels of young mice. And by the way, that only took 4 weeks. In another study that they performed, they extended the lifespan by 109% over the control group, which is more than double. The first official human trials are targeting eye diseases, specifically glaucoma and optic nerve damage. Patients for this trial are enrolled right now with the results expected by the end of this year. They're saying that this is not going to be available to the public for years, but the fact that we are testing this right now on humans is a line that we have never crossed. Dude, if this works, it changes everything that we know. So
Look how wild this is. Tucson Airport. Let's say I want the water. Let's say I want the water. Right? We will scan it. Add it to the cart. Pay now. Tip. There's nobody here. And there's literally is. Who am I tipping? Myself? Am I tipping myself? No tip. As a matter of fact, you know what? Canceling the order. Canceling the order. That's crazy.
Is it true that the men in black showed up?
I was wondering if somebody would ever ask that question. There was a group of 4 guys that came in. Black hats, black sunglasses, black suits. Asking, and this is what scared the crap out of everybody, because they were asking who had all seen the video. But nobody would say nothing. Because, like I said, if we talked about it, we'd lose our jobs. So nobody would talk to anybody. And the guy that I worked with, he was like, hey, let's go back here in the maintenance room. He said, because he said, I don't trust these guys. They look weird. They look off. They just had like a vibe about them. And it's like, and what I felt when they came up, because they got something to drink, and I was like, yeah. When they were asking like who had all seen the video, what did it look like, and nobody would say anything. And they stayed around for about, I want to say about 30 minutes or so, acting like they were looking around or acting like they were playing the machines, but what they were doing was trying to get information.
Just for the people that are you know, they're gonna say, well, why didn't you ask her what they look like? So you said that they had, you know, basically black attire on. A lot of people say men in black kind of look like their ears are weird, their faces are. Did you see anything like that? They're a little pale.
No, they weren't. No, that's what we thought. That's why we thought they were weird, because they didn't look like they had the black glasses on, so you couldn't see their eyes. But their hats came down. They had like the little, I don't know what they're called, not fedoras, but they had the little hats. You couldn't see their ears. And you couldn't see their hair.
That's interesting. Yeah, because that's been
what color their hair was, if they had hair.
You know, that's a conspiracy that's been kind of been kicked around about this tape, about this footage, and all the aftermath of everything. Is I had heard the Men in Black thing too. Why do you think they would show up if that was them?
But see, I never really wanted to say anything about that, because I didn't think anybody would believe me. They would be like, oh, now you're just making stuff up. And no, they showed up more than once. And sometimes it would be 2 guys, sometimes it'd be 3 guys, sometimes there'd be 4, and sometimes there would even be 1. But you could always tell, because they never took their glasses off. And in a casino, yes, there is flashing lights and stuff, but in the evening time when the lights are dimmed, you still can't see with that dark glasses on.
That's creepy.
And that's so creepy. And they
never.
And they had gloves on.
That's so creepy.
And they had gloves on. They never took their gloves off.
Were they tall? Uh-oh. Oh, man, guys.
O olho de Horus é o troféu pra eles. O fado de Osíris é troféu. Tipo assim, olha o que fizemos com vocês. Entendeu? Então a gente olha e fala assim, a gente não consegue entender por que eles colocam falo por toda parte, porque eles colocam o olho de Horus por toda parte. Na verdade, eles estão sinalizando aquilo que eles fizeram no passado, porque eles trabalham com a legalidade. E eles não só avisam o que eles já fizeram, como eles avisam o que eles vão fazer. Aí entra na questão das Olimpíadas, que até separei uma imagem para vocês verem, das Olimpíadas de Londres de 2012, onde eles anunciaram, que eles anunciam sempre 7 anos antes. Então 2012 com 7 dá 2019. Então você tem várias macas de hospitais, com pessoas na maca, e você vê um ser trevoso, né, caminhando no meio daquelas macas. E aí quando foram questionar por que eles fizeram colocar esses elementos, eles falaram que as macas era para homenagear o sistema de saúde do país, e que o ser trevoso que aparece é um personagem do livro, acho que do Harry Potter, algo assim. Essa foi a justificativa. Eles estão avisando, é a legalidade. E qual foi a encenação que eles fizeram na última Olimpíada de Paris? Apocalipse.
Tipo juízo final.
The man set up an Xbox Kinect to record himself while he slept. But the device also seemed to capture something else. A strange figure appeared to stand over him as he slept, before moving closer to the camera.
Would you try it alone in the dark?
Dr. Pepper, we have a problem. What is happening? Let's grab another one. This is pop number 6. Seven. What in the world? So far, all of them. This whole case is garbage.
When do you think the world will end?
Bro, this is it. This year, 2026. Everyone get ready, bro. We're gonna be in for a bumpy ride.
You think we're all dying this year, bro?
Well, that's in God's hands, but it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. A lot of people gonna go, you know.
Like what percent of the population?
Like 80% gonna go, and then 20% will stay.
For how long?
They'll go. They're gonna be gone. This is the end of time.
You'd think if you order scallops, you'd get just that, scallops, right? Not always. We gathered samples of scallops from restaurants across the USA. Here at Fish House, a popular fish market in New York City, scallops are on prominent display. We ordered fried scallops. Then we sent them to Applied Food Technologies in Florida, where Molly Sims and her colleagues specialize in seafood DNA analysis. Guess what? The lab found there wasn't any scallop in the scallop.
My best guess to what they were is probably some sort of surimi type product.
Surimi? What the heck is that?
That is the surimi fish paste. So it's a bunch of goo that's shaped like a scallop to fool you.
This is fish goo.
Fish goo.
He says unlike natural scallops, surimi is a less healthy paste, typically made up of cheap fish like pollock or whiting.
If it smells fishy, something's fishy going on. Literally, it is fake.
I did see a skin suit of Donald Trump with a reptilian inside of it. And I mean, he has clones as well. When you get that high stature, everyone uses them. So like Putin, which I've heard through extraterrestrials, he's like the 7th Putin. He's high business, so high retail. Hillary has a whole closet full.
Biden has a lot, I heard.
Biden was taken out a very long time ago. Obviously, towards the end, it was really obvious. There are beings that do help shut these things down. So that's where you find some of these people, maybe they're in mid-conversation or mid-interview, and they they just blank out. This goes for celebrities, sports, politics, I mean, everything.
There's one tree in the Amazon that its sap is so rich in hydrocarbons that you could cut this tree, collect the sap, pour it into a diesel motor, and the engine will run. There's some wild shit down there. We found saps that murder infections. Like, you cannot have an infection. You cannot have that bacteria in a petri dish. It will destroy it. Infections are a major problem in the health industry. Like, across America, I heard next to car accidents, infections kill more Americans every year. And especially that we're getting antibiotic-resistant infections like MRSA. We're constantly at a battle where our antibiotics have to combat the ability of bacteria to adapt. When you have compounds like this that murder this stuff, that's a major thing. These are medical breakthroughs hidden in the Amazon waiting to be uncovered as we're burning it down.
I mean, these staircases are so creepy. I mean, here are a couple pictures that you can just see these staircases. You go out deep into the woods, and these are like in national parks. So I'm talking like thousands and thousands of acres where you don't see anything. And then all of a sudden there just is a random staircase just standing right there. Sometimes there's spirals, sometimes it's just, 10 steps going straight up. It's made out of wood, it's a little decrepit. And again, people have theorized like these are used for some type of ritual ceremony, that different people in the woods, shamans, again, these skinwalkers, that they use these as portals, that if you climb them, it's a portal to a different dimension, it's a portal to hell, it's a way to trap human souls and a way for skinwalkers to feast on the living. Look, I've never seen one. I'm not going to speculate. I mean, you see these pictures of them all the time and they're fucking so creepy. So the advice is always like, if you see a staircase in the woods, don't climb it.
What's the route? What doing?
I don't know what it is. It's beautiful, bro.
What is the matter with you? Did he just kiss? What are you kissing for?
Who is that?
What are you doing?
Kissing my wife. That's your wife?
Who'd you think it was?
Man, I thought that was like an actor or something. For real, for real. I didn't know that was your wife.
Get up and take it back.
I'm taking it back.
Take it back, bitch.
I'm sorry.
He was reaching for the 38.
So now we know that whoever is on that list is scared of what's about to happen next. So scared that randomly today, our president just said he was going to release every alien file there is. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Based on tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, that's UAP, and unidentified flying objects, that's UFO, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. Obama was on that podcast and mentioned one thing about aliens. Cut it short after that. And today our president said, due to the fact that he mentioned that, he's going to be in big trouble because he mentioned confidential information.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake.
Now, remember I said before, apparently this year was going to be the year of disclosure. Regardless of what's going on right now, remember I said they're trying to get people comfortable just in case something happens. You had talks of 3-Eye Atlas all last year. You had Anna Paulina Luna saying that she was going to expose some things about aliens. You had multiple people speaking about these things. But because Barack Obama said something about it, now it's time to expose it. I really need y'all to pay attention. Because I also said, and this is for entertainment purposes only, I'm going to put it in the form of a question. What if it is an alien invasion? Pay attention.
When we talk about Elon, Elon is a very Anunnaki name. The Anunnaki are from Nibiru, which is also known as Planet X. With Elon, what did he name his children? AEX12 or something like that. It was like XAE12. And 12, anytime you see 12, is also an Anunnaki number. Nibiru is the 12th planet. Okay, so when you start getting into all these things, they're very symbolic. Going back to Elon, what does he have? He turned Twitter into X. He has the SpaceX. Like, there's all these really symbolic things when you start to get into like who they are in this life, who they're masking to be. You'll start to see all these symbolisms.
He said, the pyramids weren't built. They were unbuilt.
About 2 years ago, I got an email from a guy who had a theory about the pyramids. And at first, I kind of ignored it. Because when it comes to the pyramids, the line between researcher and conspiracy theorist gets a little blurry. But he sent me all of his research, almost 10 years of work, and I did look at it eventually, and it completely changed the way that I look at the pyramids. He said the pyramids weren't built, they were unbuilt. And maybe all the missing evidence that we've been searching for, the ramps, the tools, the machinery, it's not missing at all. It's actually right in front of us, just misinterpreted. So I want to walk you through this theory today, but I'm not gonna lie, this email did take me down a very strange rabbit hole. Because for all the theories and simulations and 4,000 years of research and speculation, we actually know very little about how these structures were built. We can't understand the pyramids without talking about time, because the pyramids are very, very old. The cliche saying is that Cleopatra lived closer to the iPhone than she did to the construction of the pyramids. The ancient Romans would tour the pyramids like we tour the Colosseum today. And over that insane scale of time, things get blurry. But what we do know is that pyramids themselves were the endpoint of a massive architectural learning curve, each one taking about 10 to 15 years, and each one getting us closer to the Great Pyramid. 146 meters tall, 2.3 million blocks of stone. The base is almost a perfect square, off by mere centimeters, with a slope so razor precise, because even the slightest variation would mean a failure at the top. And the whole thing is aligned almost perfectly to true north, off by just 1/15 of a degree. And they did all of this without compasses, or lasers, or GPS. As far as we know, they used nothing but the stars. And if you scaled it to the size of the Earth, the height to base ratio would almost match the curvature of the planet. The latitude is the exact same number as the speed of light, and just 0.0002 degrees off from the pyramid's latitude is also this subway in Louisiana, because a lot of things exist on that latitude. But you see, the pyramids seem so impossible, and our understanding is so limited, that it's just the perfect breeding ground for conspiracy theories.
If you look at, for example, what the Buddha discovered, right? His whole teaching was around what you want to do is get out of the house. So get out of the reincarnation cycle. He emphasized that you want to do that no matter what. The reason you're in this cycle is because of attachment. So the attachment is the fuel that keeps you in the cycle, and attachment to even form in general. Like even if you're kind of liberated and you no longer need much in life and all of that, you still have an attachment to form because you are form. So the idea is that you're supposed to get to a place where non-attachment is so complete that in the moment that you die, there's not enough grabbing power to keep you within the cycle. So you can't reincarnate anymore. You're just nirvana.
Well, something bizarre just happened over the skies of Hawaii. And of course, not one word from the mainstream media. You see, right now, people are getting injured. In fact, there's been over 11 injuries recently over the skies in Hawaii. And people are freaking the heck out, worried about planes just plunging out of nowhere. And this particular, shall I call it, toxicity or changes in the air, it's not only in Hawaii, it is now spreading. Not only that, but just yesterday, Texas and New Mexico, southern portions of those two areas, were issued a major toxin alert on the air. Again, the mainstream media was silent. That thankfully has now been lifted in those areas. But here's the thing, it was one of the highest toxin levels that we have seen in the air in a very long time. Again, the mainstream media didn't say anything. And by the way, I was doing research today and I found that pollutants and toxins in the air like that, according to a research report that was done out of a university, according to that research report, this could increase your chances of Alzheimer's. I'm starting to wonder, well, I guess there's no need to wonder why there's such a higher increase in Alzheimer's. That what the heck is going on in Hawaii? Well, take a look at this, and I found this on the Daily Mail. And it's headlined, "Strange changes to the air over Hawaii spark fears of deadly plane plunges, and danger is spreading to more vacation hotspots. Traveling to island paradises is said to become slower and even more dangerous due to invisible disruptions along busy flight routes," experts have warned. Incidents of extreme turbulence are feared to rise as the air around Hawaii and other tropical destinations heats up, creating the possibility of planes suddenly plunging hundreds of feet, injuring or even killing passengers thrown around in the cabin. Joanne de Medeiros from the University of Reading in the UK explained that global warming has been changing fast-moving air currents called jet streams. It goes on to state that these are like fast-moving rivers of wind around 35,000 feet, exactly where most airplanes cruise, and Hawaii lies near one called the subtropical jet stream that flows across the central Pacific near 20 to 30 degrees north latitude. Basically what this is saying is that the temperature differences are making the jet stream stronger and increasing the changes and the wind speed at different heights, right? Causing like this vertical wind shear. But basically this is what makes it very unstable for these airplanes that are flying through, right? So all these changes cause these issues in the planes. But it goes on to state this, that 2 recent incidents of turbulence over Hawaii have led to more than 30 injuries. So I said 11 in the beginning, but it's 30 injuries, 2 recently, including several passengers and crew members being hospitalized for head trauma and lacerations. The most serious incident occurred in December 18th, 2022. And this is back in the day when Hawaii Airlines flight HA-35 descended more than 1,000 feet after flying over a storm cell, an embedded thunderstorm, flinging passengers out of their seat and striking the ceiling. Specifically, Medeiros mentioned 2 different types of air turbulence that can threaten flights overhead in Hawaii. One's called convective turbulence, and the other is called clean air turbulence, or CA turbulence. So though some of this happened in 2002, these, where 30 people have been injured, are 2 recent incidents. In other words, they are seeing an increase in these incidents, ergo the report. But anyway, there's 2 different types of turbulence that can happen: convective turbulence and clear air turbulence. Now, regarding clear air turbulence, Medeiros comes out and warns that the CAT could be even more concerning, as the phenomenon can strike planes with no warning and nothing for pilots to look out for. In other words, this is the kind of stuff that happens without any notification. And you can see here some of the turbulence in this video where the plane had turbulence. In fact, it came right after the shaking of the plane. Unfortunately, they didn't get the shaking part, but things were open, stuff is flying on the floor, and this was one of the flights there that happened to. People obviously got injured. You can see that in some of the footage there as well.
Yeah, please.
I don't even know, bro.
It's like a limited edition one, though. It's like a 1 of 1. I like it because of this, though. It's like my selling point. Are you taking a picture for later? Oh, see, that's a male version, though. What do you think, like $30? Almost
85.
Well, I'm gonna just put $30 on winner.com real quick. Oh, I lost. Damn it. So can I just take it?
Are you taking a picture for later?
Enki is also linked to the constellation Hydra, the longest constellation in the sky. In Babylonian astronomy, this was the Mushkushu, a winged, snake-like dragon with the front legs of a lion. This 7-headed serpent motif, later seen in the 7-headed dragon of Revelation, is actually an Enki signature. The 7 heads represent the 7 me, or the 7 energy centers of the human body. When Enlil's hero, like Gilgamesh or Heracles, battles the multi-headed serpent, it is a symbolic retelling of the order, Enlil, trying to suppress the chaotic and fluid evolution. The Sumerian word for serpent is mush. This root appears in many words related to shining or anointed. In the esoteric view, the anointing isn't with oil, but with the serpent's fire, the fluid of Enki. This creates the Enki Christ bridge. The Messiah is one who has fully integrated the Mush energy, becoming a shining one, the Elohim Anunnaki term for those who have achieved a certain level of light density. Enki was often called the Lord of the Net. This refers to his role as a fisherman, the Oan's fishman connection. But in a deeper sense, it refers to the information grid of the planet. Ancient texts describe Enki casting a net over the world to catch the hearts of men. In modern terms, this is often equated to the noosphere, or the planetary consciousness grid. Enki, as the serpent who winds through the Abzu, is the one who wires the planet for telepathy and collective memory, a spiritual internet that Enlil has spent millennia trying to firewall. In the final accounting of our history, the Serpent of the Deep remains the most misunderstood architect of the human condition. Enki, moving through the shadows of the Abzu and the currents of our own DNA, represents the eternal refusal to let the spark of consciousness be extinguished by the winds of order. Whether we recognize him in the whispered warnings at the reed wall, the fire stolen by Prometheus, or the living water promised to the thirsty soul, his narrative is one of unwavering advocacy for our potential. He is the guardian of the loophole, the master of the me, and the silent designer of the vault that carries our essence through every flood and fire. As we stand on the threshold of reclaiming our own divinity, we find that the trail of the serpent has never been leading us away from God, but rather inward toward the realization that the kingdom he preserved has been flowing through our veins all along. As we trace the winding path of the serpent back from the starlit temples of Eridu to the modern double helix of our own DNA, the ultimate question remains: why does this story persist? We have seen Enki as the master of the deep, the cunning geneticist, the rebel in the garden, and the silent architect of the Ark. But beyond the clay and the cosmic drama, Enki represents something far more intimate. He is the personification of the unauthorized spark within us. He is the symbol of that relentless human drive to know, to quest, and to evolve, even when the gods of the status quo demand silence and obedience. If we are indeed the children of the Abzu, carrying the me of the Anunnaki within our very marrow, then our history is not just a record of what happened, but a blueprint for what is coming. The flood of our era may not be one of water, but of information, and the ark we must build is one of consciousness. As the waters of the old world recede, we are left with the legacy of the great dissenter, a reminder that we were never meant to be mere servants of the earth, but stewards of the stars. The serpent hasn't left us. He simply retreated into the fluid depths of our subconscious, waiting for the moment we finally choose to wake up and claim the inheritance he risked everything to save.
And that's a wrap for tonight, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.